Hey, good morning. Um, Good morning, everyone. So for those who was absent last Thursday, you guys missed the summative 0.4 and zero point 0.5 summative. Quarter one ends this week, so if you want to retake that summative, just let me know. You don't have to retake everything, but you can tell me which objective you want to retake. There were four objectives for last summative. There was four of those. Whichever that you didn't do well, let me know. So I will post that for you so you can join me office hours tomorrow. That should be a good time for us to do any retake. For today, we're gonna cover a new topic, which is not really new. It's kind of based on what we already cover, but we add a few things to it. For this topic, what I will do is we're gonna use this topic for next time when we meet, which is on Wednesday. You can have a quarter one exam, but for me, we just took our summative, so I'm not gonna test you on what I tested you last week. So whatever we cover today, I'm going to test you only one thing, one topic that we cover. Whatever we cover today, I'm going to have you do practice. We can use half the class time on Wednesday to review again, and then you can use the last 20 minutes, 20 to 25 minutes to take that quarter one. I would call it quarter one check-in. It's count as your summative, but it's not like a big quarter one exam, okay? So make sure that you, right now, if you have a piece of paper, please take it out so that you can take notes, jot down anything that you needed to. I will post the worksheet that we're going to work on today. I will post the notes. I will also, if you notice, for some of you who did not watch the video, but I record my video every single day every time that I taught you something new, I recorded it and post at a YouTube video for you to watch. So what we're going to do today is we're going to get to unit 1. So in your folder, go to Schoology. I want to show to go to Schoology. If you go to Schoology, for now we're done with unit 0. We move on. So once you're in Schoology, go to unit 1. So I'm going to go to material. This is where you're going to find your new notes and summative. So unit 1, this is what we're going to work on, all right? Unit 1. Again, I ordered this as a note, practice, and summative. In the notes, if you click on this one today, you should see 1.2 linear notes. This is what we're going to work on. We're not going to finish the whole thing. We'll come back and do this, finish up this note next week. So if you click in here, you should see the attachment, and later on today, I will attach a video to it for you. So the same unit, once we're done with notes, we're going to have practice. So you will go to practice folder. There is a practice question, which is this is really close to your quarter one exam on Wednesday. So whatever you work on today, you will see not exactly the same type of question, but the format that look alike. So after we take note right now, I know it's there and you tempted to open it and do it. Just wait until I finish notes. Otherwise, you get really confused when you do the questions, okay? So this is your practice today. It's due tonight. You have time to work on it. So these are the two things that you will see, note and practice today, all right? Any questions for me? Also, I already shared with you the last time is that sometimes I will randomly say something like everyone type in happy or everyone put in snow, something that I know that you are still here and you are behind the camera, that you not just lock in and disappear on me, okay? So if you need to use a bathroom, you need to step out for some reasons, make sure you put in a private chat so I know that you are not here. So if I happen to call on you and you don't respond to me and I have to put in the chat several times, and if I have to email you, then I have to mark you as absent, because if you don't respond to me during the lesson, during the class time, then I will assume that you're not here. All right. Okay, we're gonna take notes. Again, the notes is there. If you're gonna open it, that should be the attachment, but it's really, you cannot write on it. So what I'm seeing is, what you can do is take a piece of paper, jot down what you can, but I'm also share the notes at the end. All right. So we're gonna learn how to plot, to create a table from a word problem. So last time you did word problems, you guys will be able to create equations from word problems. But what we're gonna do today is gonna be a little bit different. This is almost similar, but different a little bit, is that we will create tables. I have a note, it just disappeared on me. Give me 1 second, I have to open it again. Sorry. I have it open and then it just froze on me. 1.2, nope. All right, so let's start again. All right, so for this one, what we're gonna do is we're gonna create equation that represent the situation, and then we're gonna graph. So these are the two things we're gonna work on today. You will have practice. We do practice again on Wednesday. I will have office hours, so you know exactly what your Q1 exam look like. Okay, so for this problem, it's kind of small, but what you need to do is you have to make the screen on the bottom under your picture. You can make it zoom. You can make a full screen, so it's a little bit bigger. At this Sophia Island, visitor gets to rent inner tubes that use several times in the park, rise and pull. Maria works at the rental booth and prepare materials so that visitor and employee will understand the price of the tube. So here's the key information: is renting a tube costs a flat fee of $5 and an additional $2 per hour. So before, you've done these problems before as a freshman, and I know Vincent said, Miss Lynn, we did this before. Why are we doing this? Because I just want to make sure that we are reviewing, so you remember what we do. So flat fee, and then the other one is the additional $2. A flat fee, anyone remember? Do you remember what a flat fee means? This is the note, that if you can just jot down it somewhere, I will post this note for you as well. If there's a blank note, but you have a piece of paper, jot it down a way that I would do things. So you can jot note somewhere. This is notes. So a flat fee is something that you pay one time only. Okay. The one that say additional $2, say per hour. The one with the per day, per hour, per something, this we call the rate. Okay. So for today, what we're going to look at is the equation that you guys are really familiar with, which is y equal mx plus b. So we will write equation, but in this form. Okay. So the two things that you want to focus on is the slope and the y-intercept. So over here, the slope is the m, and b is the y-intercept. Okay. So over here, when you see something like a flat fee, initial fee, beginning fee, something, that will be the initial chart. So that would be the y-intercept. And the ones say per day, per hour, per minute, that would be the rate or the slope. Okay. So another name for slope would be rate. So we're going to fill in this table based on what they said. So when you rent a tube, it will cost you $5. And then for every hour, you're going to charge an additional of $2. So let's say I'm gonna put in here the information that's not there, but let's say if I rent it for 0 hours, how much do I have to pay right away? That's a question that you're gonna ask yourself. So I would like to take a minute, couple of seconds even, for you to type in and tell me if this one is say if you rent a tube, it costs you a flat fee of $5. So without do anything, you have to pay $5 just to rent the tube. And then every additional hour that you rent, you're gonna have to pay $2 more. So can you either type in the chat or unmute and tell me at 0 hour, how much do I have to pay? Okay, so Jason said 0 and then change to 5. Okay, so that's good at 5. It's $5. So that's 5 is a better answer because that means you just rent the tube. It still charge you $5 no matter what. So that's 5. Then if they tell you if you're gonna rent this for 1 hour, now what will be the total cost? You're gonna pay $5 already for the tube, and now you rent for 1 hour. What should I fill into this table? What should be the values here? If I have to pay $2 for every additional hour. Should I call in someone? I think I can call in someone. Let's see. Ayub, can you tell me what should I fill in for $1? What will be the total cost? Are you here? Okay, yeah. All right. So what will be the total cost? Give you a second. Sure. You pay $5. You have not used it. You're gonna rent for an hour. Now let's do the total. 7. Okay, that's good. Let's see. Now, if I'm gonna rent for 2 hours, what will be my total cost then? I'm gonna fill out this table. So Ashley, can you help me? What should I fill out if I'm gonna rent this for 2 hours? And then what if I'm gonna rent this for 3 hours, 4 hours? So for those kind of know what to do, you can help us out. 9 hours. Okay, Yvette, thank you. Then I'm able to run this for 3 hours. Okay. If I'm going to do for 9 hours, I'm sorry, 3 hours, that's going to be 11. Thank you. And then we can finish up this table. 4 hours will be 13. January tell me 13. And then 5 hours. How much would that be? 15. Okay. So this is the total cost if you're going to rent the tube for 5 hours. So we break it down into this table. I'm going to erase this because we're going to write the equation using this table. Okay, so this is what you're going to do for your summative for when we check in for your practice today is that I'm going to give you a problem. You're going to fill out the table, and then you can think about how we're going to write that equation. So to write the equation, we need 2 things. Number 1, we need to know the initial, which is the starting point, which is the initial, which is the b value. So over here, if I look, the b value is when the x value is 0. This is where you can find the b value. B value is right here. This is b value. When x is 0, the y value is the b value. Okay. Then we need to find the slope. For this one, to find the slope, what you need to do, you can choose any 2 points. It doesn't have to be any particular one. You can choose any. So let's see, I'm going to choose these 2. I find the difference between 7 and 9, which is a 2. And find the difference of the x values, which is 1. So the slope that I will have is the change of y over the change of x, which is in this case, the change of y is 2 over the change of x, which is 1. So my slope is 2 over 1 is the same thing as 2. So I have my b values. I have my m. I can write my equation, which is over here. I can put right here. My equation will be y equal to, I know the slope that I just solved for, which is the m, is 2, plus I know the b values, right? The b value is right here. The initial, when x is 0, is given to me. So that will be my equation. So to find the slope, I have a table. I find the difference between the y values and the difference between the x values. Then put the difference of the y values over the difference of the x values right here. Okay. And now I have my equation. So create a table, write the equation. Questions? Okay. So what we're gonna do next is that I'm gonna move to the graph. Okay. So the next thing is when we have that table, then we will do graph. So this is the next thing that I want to go over with you and check in with you. Okay. So we want a couple of things. When you do graph, we want to be able to write the appropriate title. So over here, this is a graph that I have. So I'm going to remind you of my table. 0, 5, 1 is 7, 2 is 9, 3 is 11, 4 is 13, 5 is 15. Okay, so that's the table. I just copy it over. Now for this one, it's a graph. This one is really simple. The way that I'm going to show you to graph this one is that it's nothing. We're not going to use the equation yet. We're going to use the table to graph this to make it easy. So to graph this one, I'm going to make the dot a little bit bigger. Okay, so if you can think of this as the x values, this is the y values. So when you graph, you can think of this as an order pair. 0, 5, 1, 7. So go back and use the table and translate this into order pair. 3, 11, 4, 13, 5, 15. So this is the order pair that I want to graph. So when I say graph the problem, I will use the table. So I'm going to plot my first number, 0, 5. So 0 is the x value, so 0, 5. So this would be my first number. Then I'm going to plot my second one, which is 1, 7. Then 3, 11. I'm sorry. I'm missing 1. I missed 2, 9. I'm missing this one. Okay. So 2 is 9. And then 3, whoops, that's not 3. 2 is 9. And then 3 is 11. 4 is 13. And then 5 is 15. So after I plot the point to make the graph, what I would do with the graph is that I can just connect all the dots. And this is my graph. So to graph this one, if you create a table, you got the table, we can use a point to plot it. And on the bottom, I'm going to make sure that I label this one numbers of hours. And this is the total chart in dollars. So that's what I mean by label the title. I use the table that I created. I plot the point, connect the dots, and this is my graph. So these are the 3 things that we're going to focus on today. You're going to create a table, you're going to write the equation, and then you're going to graph the problem using the table. Billy, you have questions? Jackie, questions? Or anyone else have questions? Um, so what we're gonna do is that I'm gonna ask you to do some of the questions. It's gonna be a little bit harder. The practice that you will do is going to be a little bit harder than the one that I do the example because the slope is not going to be a nice number, but I'd rather you practice on the harder problems, and then when I test you, it's going to be an easier problem. So I'm going to give you a similar problem. I'm going to ask you to do a couple of things, but this is what we're going to. So let's review what I want you to do. Right, make a table, and then you will write an equation, and then graph. So those are the things that I want you to do.